What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the red color, playing as Thor. His name is Matreiuss. His opponent today in the red color. No, it's blue. I'm colorblind. In the blue color, playing as Hades. His name is Kvoth. We got an interesting matchup for you today, ladies and gentlemen. Thor versus Hades on Oasis, not one that you get to see all too much. The early game on this map is really all about, or the very early game is really all about being as efficient with your scout as possible. Understanding how goats can spawn is really, really important. So let's break it down for just a little bit. Essentially, if I find goats here, it means that there can't be goats on this entire screen, basically, and you should just immediately find your way to a different point to scout. So I find goats here, I find goats here, probably means there's not going to be any other goats around this location, which you can actually see there's not. So not scouting around here makes a lot of sense. There were goats over here, which you could have ran to get, but instead moving up to the top side makes a lot of sense. So every time you find yourself goats, you send them home, and then as fast as you can, move your scout to a different place way away from wherever that location was. And again, find goats here, and then immediately you want to be clicking over to this location or over to this location, right? Where you see goats were here, goats were possibly there as well, but have already been grabbed. So that's kind of a way to think about the old scouting at the start of the game. So we'll see how things are going to go. We do see a very, very early, well, we see a archaic age dwarven gold mine here from Matreiuss, which, you know, I'm not that big of a fan of, but a lot of people enjoy this one. I'm not a fan of this one against Hades at all, because Hades has got Chiron, which really, really counters any sort of early game advantage, which Thor has, and obviously Ajax as well can come out, but we'll have to wait and see what Matreiuss is going to do with all this excess gold that he's got in his bank. He's found himself his monkeys in the middle of the map, as well as the hunt over here. One of the big advantages of Thor, as opposed to any other civilization, unless you get the relic, is that he can one-bang these monkeys, which have got 45 HP, and that can be a really, really big bonus here, having an extra 500 food. Easily huntable, as well as potentially taking away his opponents, but monkeys later in the game. So we'll see how it's all going to go. Temple coming up for Matreiuss. Kvoth, on the other hand, here hasn't thrown his temple up just yet. He has got his second granary up over here. I'm pretty sure this was a 5 zebra start here for both players. So to be honest, if I was playing here as Hades, I'd be thinking about, can I get to the classical age at about 4 minutes and 2 seconds here and start putting pressure onto my opponent's hunt immediately with my heroes? It seems like the best way to play this one from Hades. But Kvoth going very, very slow here. It looks like he might not even make 430 at this point, which is not exactly ideal. So we'll see how he's going to go. But Matreiuss just about to be able to jump up through Freya, and he's actually advancing really, really late here and leaving his gold mine as well to boot. So both players being a little bit inefficient. Both players kind of on their off civs as well. Though I think you can argue that Matreiuss can play Norse pretty well. Though maybe his Loki is his best Norse. So we'll have to wait and see how it's all going to go, as the Ulfsark's coming in here, causing some problems for Kvoth. I imagine Kvoth is going up through Athena. Though you can possibly try Ares in this matchup and have a good game of it, especially with the idea of a really, really early pestilence onto your opponent's main base, and then potentially grabbing a second town center behind it, or kind of anything really after all is said and done. But it kind of just looks like Kvoth is actually going for that fast second town center when all is said and done. And this is really, really greedy, and it's going to allow the Thor player, who's collected a ton of goats in this game. He's got 18 goats compared to the 11 of Kvoth. So it is a big, big advantage with that, because I love that wall there from Kvoth. Look at this wall. It doesn't do a whole lot, but it does block this location from being walled to some degree. which should allow him to be able to escape as well, though you could wall up this way as well if you so chose, as the elves are coming over onto this location, checking around on this map. We do see the Sentinel going to be causing some problems there, a little bit of a cheeky house getting dropped, and Kvoth will be pulling off that location immediately. Oh, Garrison Micro, bit of a misclick though onto the Ulfsuck, and the Ulfsuck manages to just barely get away. However, the Ajax comes in and says, no, not today, get out of here, snipes the Ulfsuck. Kvoth in a good position thus far. He will be able to get himself that town center up, has a bunch of favor on the way as well, trying to grab himself his Chiron, going to have that one out, just about finishing up with his Giraffe over here as well, so he's going to be able to retreat back home, no problems, jump onto his Herdables, potentially get himself Husbandry, and be in a really, really good position off of this 2 town centers. Whereas Matreiuss, on the other hand, he's dropped double longhouses here. He's no longer building Hearse area. He's grabbing this relic, which is the Flagstone of Buhan, which is a good relic. Good relic to control the map. There's also the Odin's Wand in the top of the map here, which is also a great relic to pick up. Helps with your Valkyries and all the other upgrades later in the game that potentially can come in, like the Frost Giant upgrade to get Rhyme, or to make your Frost Giants. That's the Frost Giant upgrade's name is Rhyme. As we see Kvoth getting his town center up, and we'll see how things are going to eventuate now as Kvoth moving out across the map with his heroes. This is incredibly risky, considering Matreiuss does not have a second town center. You have to basically accept in this position for Kvoth that your opponent's basically going full military, which means that moving across the map, you're probably going to be finding yourself in a very, very difficult position to keep your heroes alive and all that other good stuff. So we'll see if Kvoth is going to find himself punished for moving out this early or not, but he does find the ox cart, the villagers in the middle here, grabbing these monkeys, and this is a big raid that Kvoth has managed to do here, whereas the raiding cavalry coming over here will be able to snipe one villager. There is also forest fire remaining here as the Herso getting onto that Minotaur there. The Minotaur going down very, very fast on that position, does manage to hit the raiding cavalry there. As the Minotaur does fall, the Ajax going to be pulling back over here as well. We are seeing the sentry tower getting targeted down on this position by Matreiuss, as well as the ox cart coming back onto this position to help him finish off on these monkeys here. A big help for him in this game to get that extra 500 food here. Meanwhile, raiding cavalry coming in onto this position. Villagers going to be helping out with the help of that town center, getting a lot of damage done. Matreiuss not controlling these raiding cavalry to the best of his ability. Going to have to pull back out of here as soon as he possibly can. Meanwhile, Kvoth, a little bit food starved at this point, does have himself Husbandry, is getting himself some Hippocon, which, I mean, it makes sense why you want Hippocon, but in reality, I think the smart play here is to actually just go in with Military Academy, and because you don't have to really defend all too much. It's not a large amount of area of the map you have to run across to defend. You just go Hoplites and Toxotes, and then you can maybe hit an Underworld later, or just accept you're going to be on the back foot for quite some time. But Kvoth does choose to go for the Hippocon, so we'll see how that's going to go. Meanwhile, Town Center is on the way here now for Matreiuss. He's also got that Valkyrie healing up everyone. This raiding cavalry was the raiding cavalry that got headbutted by the Minotaur, managed to keep himself alive in this game and gets healed all the way back up. So we'll see what's going to happen now from Matreiuss' perspective. Just about to finish up with this monkey. Still has plenty of Herdables left in his base. I wouldn't mind seeing him send the Herdables over here, but there are all of these berry bushes on this location as well as this location. It would be greedy to do this, but grabbing this top berry bush patch first and then moving back makes a lot of sense here. For Matreiuss to just get a little bit of extra food before he needs to think about farming in this game. Whereas Kvoth here, he's already starting to put his farms down in his base, which is really, really early, all things considered. But he will have to do that, which is going to slow him down a ton. Every single farm you're putting up is obviously 75 wood, which in the end, in the long run, if you got 10 farms, you got 750 wood. If you got 20 farms, you got 1,500 wood. So it ends up being a lot when you compare it to say a town center just costs 700 resources. Yeah, farms are something you want to delay as long as you possibly can. which Matreiuss is kind of going to be able to do here in a way. Not only that, he's going to be grabbing this large gold mine over here. I wouldn't be surprised to see Matreiuss starting to take control of the map with walls at this point in the game. Is a really, really easy way to kind of convert a military advantage, is just take control of the map just a little bit. Chuck walls up over here, potentially, wall up over here, and then a wall up over on this location here wouldn't go astray either in the near future. But Matreiuss gets himself the Dwarven Armor, and he's also getting himself Copper Shields, which does indicate to me he might be considering to go for some sort of an attack on this position, considering he knows that Kvoth is investing so much wood into farms. We'll see how things are going, but I love this play from Kvoth. He's simply just putting farms just in his main base, not on this exposed other town center. So if Matreiuss does decide to go for some sort of an attack on that bottom town center, you're not going to be losing out on those farms, which I think is a really, really good idea. We'll see how things are going to go as that sentry tower on this position does get taken down, which is a really key sentry tower. Kvoth's going to be kicking himself for not walling that one up, because now he's not going to be able to see units traversing through this pass if he's got no units over there. As we do see the raiding cavalry coming in over here, going to be checking things out. Does realize there's no villagers on this town center to be really taken down, but you can't really fight underneath the town center, a Hades town center to boot, with this many raiding cavalry and this many villages. There's 20 villages there, which is way too many to try and get a cheeky raid on. As the Hippocon does get sniped down there. Some Toxotes getting sniped down as well, as this trade is actually going fairly decently for Matreiuss at this point, as Kvoth still getting his farms down nicely. He's gotten some good resources in. He's getting himself the medium gold mine out as well. More military buildings coming up as well. The big question is, will Kvoth be able to get to the heroic age and maybe start making some prodromus here in this game to find himself an advantage, as these Hippocon very much out of position. Matreiuss sending everything forward at this point. 119 of 130 population. Resources very, very low in this game. Playing it very nicely from an economic standpoint. Walls coming up all over the place to boot as well. These gold villages in the middle of the map are making me a little bit nervous. Part of the Fundamental series, we'll take it back. One of the key tenets of the Fundamental series is if you've got to identify weaknesses in your position and act. So right now, the weaknesses in Matreiuss' position are basically just this gold mine, and Kvoth has found it, and he's going to be getting a couple of kills here, which is a really, really big deal considering all the pressure that's coming over here. Matreiuss not going to be paying attention either on that one. You can see on the minimap, the red units are not moving at all as the raiding cavalry come in here, and they're going to be looking to straight after those villagers on this position, but it looks like Kvoth is more than happy to take this fight. He's going to be casting Restoration as well, as finally the dwarves start moving away from this location. We'll see how those raiding cavalry are going to be shaping up after all is said and done. Kvoth needs to keep those villagers attacking if he wants to, but it looks like he's just going to be retreating away after all is said and done. The restoration going to be enough to have picked off so many of those raiding cavalry. The dwarves picked off on this location are going to be getting at least an equal trade in terms of economy, while dealing tons of damage to the military of Matreiuss, as Matreiuss has to pull out of here. And we see Kvoth feeling very, very good about himself right now. Wouldn't be surprised to see an armory get thrown down. There it is. And the next age is going to be coming through very, very shortly for Kvoth. Whereas Matreiuss, on the other hand, he's lost a lot of units just to rebuild them all. And he's going to be in a very, very difficult position to get to that heroic age when all is said and done. But we are seeing a third town center coming up for Matreiuss after that fight, which is, it's kind of like a backwards thing. Normally you think, once I get an advantage in a fight, then I do something with that advantage. I spend on a town center, I spend on an age up, I spend on random technologies or something like that. But Matreiuss loses that big fight and decides to grab this town center, which gives Kvoth every little bit of initiative now in this game to make anything he wants to happen. And he's choosing to go through Aphrodite here. I wouldn't be surprised to see a town center, or at least straight to the mythic age here from Kvoth off of 2 town centers, an earthquake on this position into an attempted gold starve over here. This gold mine is going to be expiring fairly soon as well, so hitting this gold mine over here, this gold mine over here, and this gold mine over here wouldn't be that difficult either. As more military buildings coming down, we are seeing that Kvoth is opting to move into more of the infantry-based army, making some military academies, more stables coming up either. I'm a bit surprised to see that. I thought maybe he could stick in with the stable and make some prodromus here to help him out against those raiding cavalry that Matreiuss is building here. A bit disappointed to see no walls getting thrown down, but we are seeing more military buildings coming up in their stead here as the raiding cavalry coming back in onto this position, looking to hit that wood line yet again, or maybe somewhere else as the raiding cavalry coming straight into the main base. Will we see? I mean, there will be an Nemean line coming out here immediately to help defend on this one as the army coming through onto this position. I imagine Curse does come down over here. That will be a whole bunch of pigs to come in for Kvoth. This Nemean line is going to be a big help defending this one as the army coming through onto this position as Matreiuss has to retreat away. If we take a look at Matreiuss's Matreiuss's economy here is still a little bit low on that. The villagers do get pushed off over here, moving away. We'll have to see Kvoth retreating back up here to help himself out onto this position here. We'll see how it's going to go. Kvoth should be dropping that marker down, which he is doing. Unfortunately, getting hit by that raid is going to be slowing him down quite a bit here, but he's now going to be able to defend this one here somewhat as the raiding cavalry is still trying to go after these villagers ever so slightly. More villagers should be retreating back onto this gold mine or moving back over onto that gold mine fairly soon, coming over to here as well as the villagers finally making their way back home. We do see the Nemean line coming through here to help out those raiding cavalry on the back here, doing tons of damage onto the Toxotes, but they decide to move back over onto those villagers to pick off even more of those villagers as Kvoth's economy is hurting a ton here in this game. But Matreiuss is sacrificing so much military for this damage. We'll see if this is going to become a problem for him in the near future or not. Matreiuss here is still sitting 123 of 145 population, now just finishing up with those farmers or those goat gatherers as the farm's starting to get thrown down here for Matreiuss. He's going to have to grab himself some wood as well to get all those farms back up, but he is now going to be stunted in terms of food growth here. So he has to decide to either stop producing food-based units to get to the heroic age or just say, I'm staying in the classical age. He's going for a 4th town center here, ladies and gentlemen. That is super, super greedy. We'll see if it's going to be working out for him or not, as Kvoth here, he's hurt so much in the economy. How's the economic upgrades going? He's got himself shaft mine, no bow saw. Little known fact is that in terms of the upgrades that are important for Greek, shaft mine is only a 7.5% effective boost. 7.5% effective boost for your economy, whereas bow saw is the big technology boost, just like the big technology boost for Egyptians is shaft mine. But it looks like Kvoth just really wanted that extra gold income nonetheless. As the army pushing through here, and we see Hephaestus coming through for Kvoth. That's a big head scratcher if you ask me. I would have thought Artemis here every day of the week as the dwarves getting pushed off of this location here. Kvoth has to think about turning around, just taking this fight at this point. As his army is pushed off those villagers off of that gold mine there. Matreiuss over here just about finished up on this gold mine over here, but Matreiuss here is now going through Skadi. He's going to have the Frost Giant to counter the Colossus. He's going to have the big boost to food income by getting himself Winter Harvest and Irrigation, so he should be able to pump many units here. We'll see how these fights are going to continue as the raiding cavalry trying to micro around here as best as they possibly can. Nice play here from Matreiuss. More raiding cavalry coming in over here to attack this good map. Micro, they're pulling the Thrown Axeman away, and these units are getting caught out quite a bit. But we do see the town center has been spotted here, and that's going to be prevented. Good play for Kvoth. He's going to be okay here now. Potentially going to grab this town center for himself. And these dwarves are very sneaky. Kvoth, does he see them? He doesn't see them here. They're just out of line of sight, sneaking around on the map, trying to find someone to go as Skadi does pop for Matreiuss. After all is said and done, he's got tons of economy. He's got 150 of 145 population here in the bank. And the army is still searching around for these dwarves. As all the dwarves are going to be moving on to this position. We see a hill fort getting dropped down now for Matreiuss on this location here as the Frost Giant coming up over here. We see the town center just about to come through as Kvoth will be hitting his mythic age here. Going to be able to drop his Plenty Vault somewhere in his main base very shortly and then grant himself Forge of Olympus to boot. But the raid comes through yet again onto this gold mine. Kvoth not setting up his defenses here. He's going to be losing every single one of these villages as he's going to be pulling back. We see the Frost onto this position as well to keep his dwarves alive and kicking, whereas Kvoth is in a lot of under a lot of pressure here. He's He's lost so many villages. He does finish up on this town center, so he's going to have 3 town centers to rebuild all of those villages. But man, losing that is a huge hit to the economy. He does have the plenty vault to help him out, but he's in a difficult position now with all of his army right now frosted for the next little bit. We see the Colossus coming over here. That Frost Giant is saying, "Get back here! I want to put a stop to you." 3-speed Colossus versus 3.8 speed Frost Giant trying to chase that one down. Maybe gonna be able to get there, maybe not with the hoplite shanking away. That will be snaring just a little bit of that Frost Giant as it pulls back over onto this position here, but it's just about to get frozen there. Not enough to kill it, but still good amounts of damage done as Kvoth here in a very difficult position, to say the very least. However, he's got all of the gold mine options in the world here, with the top gold mines over here, this middle gold mine here, and this gold mine over here. So he might be able to sneak these moving forward. But Kvoth here, he just needs to figure out how he can convert the military advantage that he has into doing some economic damage to Matreiuss. I think that's the most important thing. We do see Cheeky Hoplite on that gold mine over there. The Colossus is going to be returning back over onto this hill fort, as it seems that Kvoth is looking to hit this gold mine on this position immediately here, as Matreiuss is mining that one up. We see the Toxotes coming through onto this position to try and hit those dwarves over here as well. There's no heroes out just yet for Kvoth. He's going to need those to deal with those Frost Giants moving forward, as the dwarves coming through onto this position. We've got the Huskal over here as well to start dealing with those Toxotes as best as he possibly can. So some good amounts of damage over there. As the raiding cavalry swinging around the map, we will be seeing Kvoth moving back and forth every which way, trying to figure out how to get gold. He could just take these villages off of wood now, come back over here. We see some more military buildings coming down onto this position as the military getting picked off yet again. But right now, Matreiuss in a bit of a tough position here. He is going through Balder though, so we'll see if this is going to be enough for him to hold on. Oftentimes, the best way to play in these positions when you're getting pushed off of gold all over the place is just to abuse the market for a little bit here. Jump everything onto wood, make yourself some trade route, click rag, and just kind of hope in a way. But Matreiuss' economy is absolutely gigantic here. He's going to have a huge Ragnarok, but this is Hades, and Hades is a very, very tough cookie to crack. However, this Hades of Kvoth here hasn't really set up any defenses just yet. He's not prepared for a Ragnarok to come at him at all. As this gold mine here has got 3,600 gold left in it. I wouldn't mind seeing some walls get thrown up over here, a fortress get thrown down. All of those good things wouldn't go astray, as we do see the dwarves coming over onto this position. We've got the units coming in over here. It's going to take some fights, but the heavy throwing axemen does manage to come through here, and that's going to force Kvoth back, as Matreiuss just about to hit that mythic age. He's got himself 93%. He hasn't started the trade route here, which, remember, if you can start the trade route, you should start the trade route. But we'll see what Matreiuss is going to do here. If he decides to just not click the button and just make Frost Giants, or if he's going to get some more upgrades out and then click the button. Either way, things can be kind of difficult here, as we are going to be seeing immediately heavy infantry, Hypaspis coming through. Matreiuss clicks the button, goes up to 332 population. Is the army going to be trying to take out these heroes of Ragnarok off of this gold mine? It looks like it's a good fight here for Kvoth, actually, when all is said and done. We do have to remember that Kvoth has still got multiple different town centers he can potentially sneak over here. But this gold mine just about to come down. Still no walls up for Kvoth. No fortress coming through either. A good micro there from Matreiuss, pulling Kvoth out of this position as he's going to be retreating back in onto this gold mine. We'll see if he's going to be able to hold here, but it's just going to be so many units. And not only that, the Fire Giant is in as well. There are 2 heroes, so he might be able to take that Fire Giant down, but it can be super, super hard when you've got so many throwing axemen that can just snipe the Ajax incredibly fast and all the other good stuff there. But Kvoth here trying to take this fight, getting a lot of Hades shades in this one. Matreiuss sitting at 280 population right now. The heroes of Ragnarok on the top town center. The Ragnarok heroes coming down to the bottom gold mine on the minimap, and the top gold mine to boot, as he does spot some villages there. This town center just about to fall. It's got fortified town centers, iron weapons, and does he have masons? Yeah, and masons. So it's a really, really strong town center, but it will be falling here as the population of Matreiuss is slowly draining. But Kvoth here is dropping down population very, very fast. 110 population remaining here, as he is desperately trying to hold against this wave of Ragnarok heroes that is just pushing through this location. The town center falls. Does Matreiuss have the resources to push this one up? He does have the resources to do that if he needs to. And in that moment, Kvoth says, there's no way for me to get gold mines anymore, and I have no population left, and Matreiuss is still full population, and he's going to be very, very difficult to slow down here, especially because the trading here is also not going to be that effective for Kvoth to try and hold on. Kvoth did get him up to champion of Paspis, but when all is said and done, you've got to be putting pressure onto Norse. I mean, you can play for the defensive Ragnarok, but I feel like Kvoth was just losing to. You can play to defend the Ragnarok, I should say, but Kvoth here was kind of haphazardly trying to figure out what to do here. I think losing this huge amount of villagers on this gold mine, I think you had the warning with the wall up, and then Matreiuss just bashed it down, and Kvoth just didn't notice it, and that was a big game changer here. Kvoth definitely had the advantage in this game for quite some time, but just not managing to convert here. And Matreiuss once again showing how strong he is with some of his off civs here. That Thor play incredibly strong here. If you guys enjoyed this one, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game.